What is going on, guys? I am SceptileMC or George, and today I'm here to bring you my round 2 of the RU Open that's taking place on Smogon, of course, hosts all the tournaments. But before I get into the video, I just want to quickly say thank you guys once again for 5,000 subs. It means a lot to me and just in general, just the channel as well. If you have not seen the video I made on that, you can go check that out. It's the most previous one. You can follow me on Twitter at SceptileMC, and if you want to join the Discord server I created for all my lovely subscribers, there will be a link to that at the top of the description. Just click on it and join. However, it is only active for a day after I create the link. So if this is outdated and you guys are watching this after a day, just leave a comment. And I will update it once I know that it's run out. I had to do that already on my other video, but that is everything I wanted to say real quick. Just wanted to get all that stuff out there real quick. But anyways, let's get right on into this. Is too loud in my ear. I know it's not too loud for you guys, but it's too loud for me. Oh, and all music is created by Glitch X City, of course, as usual. And now let's get right on into the battles. So I played Empo. That's pretty much all I know about is his name. Round two. You guys told me that I need to update my teams, so I did update my teams. I actually updated my teams quite a bit from round 1. I don't have the same crappy teams anymore. Or well, one team was good, the other one was not good, but I was only able to show one battle anyway. But if we win this, we're on to round 3, and I think that's 32 people, maybe 16 people. Not positive, but I know it's like around those numbers. But anyway, let me get into the battle now. So my team, I have a Life Orb offensive Sigil Lift with Magic Guard and just only 4 attacks. I got a Life Orb Sheer Force Druddigon because it's unexpected and people don't expect it to have coverage to hit like Diancie, like with Iron Head, the Fire Punch, the Sucker Punch, and then you just got Outrage in the back to nuke things. So that's that. It actually does a lot of work against his team. You can see just with the Fire Punch against the Tangrowth, the Sucker Punch against the Sigilift, the Iron Head against the Diancie, and then the Outrage against literally every other Pokemon on the team. So really thinking that's going to possibly put in a lot of work. Mega Glalie, because it's the only Mega. There's Mega Adino. I think it's the only Mega in the tier. It's also just one of the best. It's just a tank. Well, not a tank. It's a wall breaker. It has access to Double Edge with the Refrigerate ability, which is unbelievable. I don't have Freeze Dry on this Pokemon this week. I decided to run Crunch instead of Freeze Dry. The reason for Crunch is so I can hit Bronzongs, because if not, you get one like 100% walled by Bronzongs. But if I had Freeze Dry this match, I would have just won with Mega Glalie like turn 1, because you see, if I have the Freeze Dry, he's only switching his Poliwrath, and that just dies. And then he has 3 things that are weak to Ice, so Ice Shard's important. And yeah, so I got a special defensive Registeel and a special defensive Scrafty. That's for rocks, and I have the bulk up on the Scrafty because that's just a fantastic late game sweeper. Even early game, you just see that you can get up a bulk up and win. Like you just go for game, and the Shed Skin and the rest. So yep. Then a physically defensive Aromatisse, because Aromatisse is just overall a fairy, and that's pretty much why people actually run it in this tier, because it's a fairy. But anyway, I'm looking at his team and I'm like, well, Mega Glalie leads okay against 4 of the Mons. I don't have Iron Head, but I do have the Earthquake for the Diancie. He leads Poliwrath though, and I can't stay in, so I decide right here I'm going to switch into my Aromatisse, so I can take any hit, as he actually sets up a substitute, which isn't a problem by me. If he's a Focus Punch set, I can handle it. He turns out being Subtoxic, I get off the Moonblast, and I see the Aromatisse putting in a decent amount of work in this game, actually, so I'm just going to go for the Aromatherapy turn 1. I don't want to deal with Toxic, I don't want to deal with anything like that, and he goes into Tangrowth, and right here I'm thinking, okay, I'm kind of afraid of the Poison Jab. It is a possibility that he's maybe AV, like max offensive, but he goes for Knock Off instead. Or knocks off the item on my Registeel. And right here, I know he could have the Focus Blast, but it's not going to be doing a lot of damage. And as you can see, it is only 31%. And then he also has a chance to miss. And I get off a Toxic on him. So this just kind of cuts the survivability of Tangrowth in half. Of course, the Regenerator is there, but it's not a problem. And I'm not too worried about Registeel getting too worn down, because if he's on Diancie against my Aromatisse, for example, I can go for Wish, and I can heal him back up like immediately. But I get a double switch into the Flygon on my Aromatisse, and I didn't expect him to stay in, which is why I just went for a Wish, and then I didn't want to switch into my Registeel on the turn that he went for EQ. as I'm a little bit behind the battle now. But basically, he gets up his Stealth Rocks, I get off a Wish. I know he can't stay in versus me. Well, I know that my Registeel is a perfect switch into the Diancie, so I get off the Wish right there, I get back up to full. And once again, it's Tangrowth versus Registeel, and we're at full now. He decides to switch out as I do get up my Stealth Rocks, and me getting these up are important because that will force him to defog the hazards away on my side of the field. Fortunately for me, he goes for Earth Power right here and gets a special defense drop. So it's okay. It's okay because looking at that damage, we can survive another one and just go for a Moonblast and just take him out. Goes for Earth Power and just gets a roll and kills us. So that's really unfortunate, but it was a roll anyway, so it's like always like 50-50 with those. But I go into Glalie because I know I can go for an Ice Shard right here, but I predict him to want to switch out. I don't have the Freeze Dry, unfortunately, but I do have the Double Edge, and that is just an attack that just nukes every Pokemon, and it does 39% to Poliwrath. So while that's not incredible damage, it's at a point now where I can't switch in again, and that's really all I need. I just need to take down the counters to my Mega Glalie until it actually just sweeps his team completely. Here, I expected the Circle Throw, so I switch into Sigilyph as he just goes for a Waterfall, and then I go for Dazzling Gleam, expecting him to want to go into Drapion. The way he brought in Drapion here tells me he's probably Choice Scarfed and that he has Pursuit, so I'm going to stay in on the off chance I survive Pursuit. I go into Druddigon right here, though, after dying, and I'm like, you're going to go into Diancie, and I'm going to click Iron Head. And that's exactly what happens, and we're able to take out the Diancie, which was a threat to my Mega Glalie, as well as my Scrafty, because now I'm aiming for a Scrafty sweep now, because I was looking at it and I'm like, well, now that Diancie's gone and he doesn't have the Circle Throw anymore, my Scrafty, if it gets up a Bulk Up, actually sweeps his team. Now, he goes for Draco as I predict that, and he misses, which is really unfortunate, because I really wanted him to hit that Draco so he would get -2, but that's not what happens. I click Seismic Toss right there, and at this point, I was like, you know what, I don't really need my Registeel anymore. I'm okay if I take another Earth Power, as he reveals the Roost. So I go for Seismic Tosses, and then he just goes for a Roost. So I go for Toxic that turn, expecting him to want to Roost up again. Here, I'm going to switch out, though. I'm going to switch out into my Scrafty, because my Scrafty is especially defensive. And Scrafty has insane Bolt, guys. If you guys do not know, this Pokemon, just its defenses are crazy good for just a fighting type in general. Earth Power doing only 30%, and I just go for the gold. Well, I mean, I don't go. I go for Rest, expecting a Draco Meteor right there, just trying to get off a lot of damage. Doesn't happen, but I get the Shed Skin turn 1, which is great for me. And now he goes for Poison Jab, does only 30%. He does not get the poison, and I get up a Bulk Up. So it's looking like right here, I'm actually just going to speed this part up a little bit. I'm going to click fast now. He goes for Poison Jab. He's not going to get the poison, and I go for Drain Punch. And right here, I decide to click the Rest, just because. I don't remember why I clicked the Rest, but I did, and he gets a crit poison against me, so that was very good on my part. And I get the Shed Skin turn 1, so we're getting pretty lucky with Shed Skin, but at the same time, this doesn't look too good for him anyway. His only chance to actually stop my Scrafty sweep right now is to get a flinch with Air Slash, and he gets a flinch with Air Slash, so that's unfortunate. And I was hoping it was a roll. Maybe I could survive later. Nah, that's not the case. But I go into Druddigon, and I do have the Sucker Punch. I'm just going to go for it. And he decides to stay in. And I take him out. He goes into Flygon right here, and I'm perfectly fine with just like sacking off my Druddigon, as he actually predicts me to switch into Registeel and goes for Earth Power. We just smack him with the Sucker Punch. He goes down to his own Life Orb, and then he goes into Tangrowth and just realizes the game is over. So he forfeits right there, and we win game 1 of the RU Open round 2. And without further ado, let's get into our commercial break. I'm just kidding. Let's get right into the next battle. So, right here, I was iffy on the team I wanted to use in the second round. I mean, in the second match, because I had 2 good teams and a team that I was kind of iffy on. And I went on the team that I was iffy on. The reason being is, for some reason, I had the weird, like, a feeling kind of that he was not going to bring Defog on the main Defogger in the Tears Flygon, and he brought Flygon last time. It didn't do too well versus me, so I feel like he's not going to bring a team with Flygon again. And lo and behold, he doesn't have a Defogger, and I bring my Sticky Web team with Mega Camerupt, Offensive Absol, Exploud with Boom Burst, and a core of defensive Tangrowth and just mixed bulky Jellicent. So that's that. He decides to bring a interesting team. I don't know what he's going to want to lead off with, but my lead is always going to be the Smeargle. And I have the Dark Void. I do not have the Spore because grass types and such. As this music is on, I'm going to turn off this music. Go to Smeargle, and I go for Dark Void turn 1. What else do you guys expect? It's a Smeargle. Come on now. And then on turn 2, I'm like, you don't have any form of hazard control. I'm just going to go for I'm going to go for my webs. And then I Dark Void again on his rocks, actually, and I miss. But then I get it on this turn, which is great. And now I'm thinking all I need to do is put him in range to where I can go into X-Cloud after this and click my Boom Burst. And even if he gets all the leftovers recoveries up to about like maybe 60-70% depending on his spread, I still take him out. So that's all I needed there. And now I can set up my layers of spikes. Since he actually gets sleep for 3 turns in a row. And that's just great for me because I get 2 layers of spikes. I have up my webs and he has no hazard removal. And now I have a safe switch into X-Cloud, which just gets a kill. So, just fire up a Boom Burst, and I take out the Scyther Toad immediately. And the only Pokemon that now is a threat to my team is potentially a Trick Room Hoopa and this Aerodactyl. And I'm perfectly fine with going into Tangrowth on this Aerodactyl. I don't care if he wants to Aerial Ace me. He'll take Rocky Helmet. I just want damage on this thing. And now I make a misplay right here. And I'm just gonna... Might as well pause it after. He goes for Aerial Ace, takes me down low, and I click Knockoff. Now, I was half expecting him to want to go into Abomasnow, so I can't say that was a bad play, because it was a little bit of a misprediction on my part, which could have actually turned to the right play. The way I thought about it was he kind of knew that the Aerodactyl was important, because it's the only mon not affected by the Sticky Web, and if he does in fact... If he does in fact... lose the Aerodactyl, he has a major problem dealing just like with my offense, but and he can't really revenge kill anything. Can't talk right now. So I went for Knock, expecting him to switch instead of the Giga Drain, but if I gone for Giga Drain, I'd still have my Tangrowth. He would not be able to survive the next Aerial Ace recoil against me, which is what happens here, because he doesn't have the Life Orb, he doesn't take that 10%, and he survives. But I go into Absol, and honestly, it didn't change anything because I just clicked the Sucker Punch right here, and he doesn't have the Roost or anything like that. He didn't switch. I thought he would want to switch, but I didn't want to over-predict and go for like a Pursuit or something. But he goes into his own Absol now, and I have the Superpower. I'm Black Belt. Not Black Belt. I'm Black Glasses. And I click Superpower, and I kill him. So right away, I'm just thinking, okay, this is going good for me now. This is good. This is looking like a good position. You just can't choke right now, George. And I expect him to want to go for like a Gunk Shot or something. Maybe go for Toxic Spikes. Maybe do something like that. Decides switching to Jellicent. It's a safe play. And then I believe right here he decides to switch out into Abomasnow, taking the Sticky Web and the 2 layers of spikes. As I believe I click the Scald. No, I actually click the Will-O-Wisp. So I can get the residual damage on anything that wants to come in, or I can just burn the Garbodor and just completely cripple that thing offensively. I go for Taunt right here in case he wanted to like try to Leech Seed me, try to stall me out, I don't know. He just goes for Giga Drain, but the combination of the Life Orb and the Burn is going to put him in range of a Boom Burst. So I'm just going to go right back into my X-Cloud right here, and I'm just going to click Boom Burst. There's no reason not to, and at this point it looks like X-Cloud can just have a little mini sweep. Depending on the sets of the Hoopa and the Garbodor. He goes into Hoopa, and I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna click the Boom Burst. Turns out he's Choice Scarf, and he in fact outspeeds us and gets a crit. The crit definitely mattered, guys. But I can just go out into Absol. I 100% outspeed him in this point because of the Sticky Web, and I just click Pursuit. I could have gone for Knockoff, but I clicked Pursuit because it kind of killed anyway, so there was no point. As he decides here that it's the game, I have the Mega Camera up in the back, and I can just Earth Power him to kill the Garbodor off. And we win 2-0 in round 2 of the RU Open, guys. So we are now on to round 3. I think that's round of 32, round of 16, I don't know. Something like that. And, yeah, so now we're actually 4-0 in the tournament, so we have not yet lost a game, which is... I think that's pretty impressive so far, to be honest. Of course, maybe we haven't... I don't know who in the tier is, like... Who is, like, phenomenal in tier and who's just good or who's, like, not so great. I think my round 1 opponent was actually pretty salty that he lost in round 1, so I'm assuming he was very good. And this guy, he played decently. I don't think he played the best, though. Especially in the second game. He could have done a lot more to try to preserve the win condition of Aerodactyl. Yeah, guys, so that is pretty much going to be it for today. Once again, I want to say thank you for 5K, and just thank you for that in general. To join the Discord server, the link is in the description below, as well as you can follow me on Twitter at SceptileMC. All of the music in this video was made by GlitchX City. And that's it, guys. So if you enjoyed, I would really appreciate if you did leave a like, a comment, or subscribe if you want to see my future content. Do other stuff other than just stuff like this. Anyways, guys, I am SceptileMC or George, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.